Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Wednesday, August 26th, Sheila Carter will realize she has the perfect angle to convince Deacon Sharp that he does not have a true future with Taylor Hayes. Sheila will brag on Wednesday's show now that Deacon has acknowledged Taylor turned down his marriage proposal. Taylor will point out to Deacon that she had no trouble walking down the aisle with Ridge Forrester on multiple occasions. However, Deacon will offer a different perspective on the subject, acting as if marriage to Ridge would put anyone off. Although Deacon will not consider this a deal-breaker, Sheila will believe it demonstrates he will never have the exact next chapter he envisioned with Taylor. Deacon will claim that just being with Taylor is enough, but according to B&B spoilers, Sheila will disagree. In fact, Sheila may begin to question if this is an opportunity for her to reclaim Deacon for herself. Deacon will remain steadfast in his love for Taylor for the time being, thus Sheila will have to adjust to life without him. That doesn't mean Sheila will abandon her desire of reuniting with Deacon eventually, especially now that she knows Taylor will not marry him. RJ Forrester and Electra Forrester are expected to receive some exciting news, as Ridge appears to be ready to move forward with the new youth line. RJ intends to make a name for himself in the fashion industry by creating eye-catching designs. Of course, RJ will want to make Electra a fashion sensation as well, believing they can achieve great things together. Melissa Dillon will race to defend herself at the beach house, with the help of Will Spencer. Nonetheless, Katie Logan Spencer is persuaded that Dillon is chasing money and power rather than Will's love. According to The Bold and the Beautiful teasers, Dillon will call for reinforcements in the upcoming episodes, thus her mother, Darcy Dillon, will appear shortly. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Wednesday, August 26th reveal a tense and emotionally charged confrontation as Sheila Carter brings up Taylor Hayes' complicated romantic history and reminds her of a painful decision she once made. Sheila has never been known to keep an uncomfortable reality hidden, and this time she may use Taylor's relationship with Ridge Forrester to make a very sharp argument about Deacon Sharp. What starts off as a talk could soon escalate into an emotional conflict, especially if Sheila believes Taylor is being unjust to Deacon. Taylor has spent years attempting to create a life centered on love, family, forgiveness, and doing what she believes is right. However, her relationship with Ridge has always hampered such efforts. Ridge has been one of Taylor's most important loves, and their connection has endured marriages, separations, betrayals, misunderstandings, and other emotional twists. Even when they were apart, Ridge held a special place in Taylor's heart. That past is precisely what Sheila may choose to exploit. Sheila recognizes how vulnerable people may become when their previous decisions are dragged into the present. She also understands that Taylor does not enjoy being reminded of mistakes or choices that have caused sorrow to others. If Sheila reminds out that Taylor married Ridge but rejected Deacon, she may force Taylor to reconsider her own love choices. The problem is made more complicated by Deacon's complex relationship history. He has committed severe blunders, and his history has caused misery to many people. However, Deacon has worked hard to improve his life. He has strived to be a better father, partner, and guy. Someone like Sheila, who knows what it's like to have a bad reputation, may understand Deacon's attempts at redemption better than others. That could explain why Sheila is so determined to prove her case. Sheila may claim that Taylor does not have the authority to judge Deacon simply based on his history. Taylor, after all, has made her own hard romantic decisions. She chose Ridge despite though other people offered her alternative options. She believed in the connection she desired, so she followed her heart. Sheila might tell Taylor that Deacon also deserves the chance to follow his heart. That is not to say Sheila will suddenly become a voice of reason in the classic sense. Nobody should expect Sheila to give a calm and sympathetic speech without ulterior motives. She's probably certainly trying to achieve something by confronting Taylor. Sheila may want Taylor to question her emotions, or she may be attempting to isolate Taylor from those around her. In any case, Taylor may be surprised by the impact of her statements. Taylor may quickly reject Sheila's comparisons. She may insist that her relationship with Ridge was founded on a long history and emotional bond. She may explain that her decision to marry Ridge was personal and unrelated to Deacon. Taylor might also point out that Deacon's previous actions were quite different from Ridge's faults. However, Sheila may not let Taylor get out of the subject so easy. Sheila could react by noting that everyone has a history. Everyone has taken decisions they regret. Everybody has hurt someone at some point. According to Sheila, the difference between people is not if they have committed mistakes, but whether they are given another chance to correct those mistakes. This might put Taylor in an unpleasant situation. Taylor is usually the one who pushes people to forgive and move on. She has spent years attempting to convince her family that individuals can change. However, when Sheila applies that theory to Taylor's own life, the talk gets even more difficult. Taylor may discover that Sheila isn't entirely wrong. That understanding could spark a profound emotional response. Taylor may recall times when her relationship with Ridge appeared hopeless, but she remained optimistic that they would find their way back together. She may recall the sacrifices she made and the suffering she faced. She could also recall Deacon and the role he played in her life, especially when his presence strained her relationships with others. Sheila could use those memories to argue that Taylor has been selective in who deserves forgiveness. That charge would most likely anger Taylor. Taylor has always wanted to believe that she treats others fairly, but Sheila may question that notion. She may indicate that Taylor's moral standards vary depending on whether she personally likes or trusts someone. That is a hazardous accusation because it may force Taylor to explain both her judgments and her character. Meanwhile, Deacon may become an unexpected source of sympathy. Deacon has had one of the most complex trips in Los Angeles. He has progressed from being regarded as a nuisance to becoming a respected businessman and loving father. His bond with Hope has also contributed significantly to his transformation. He has attempted to demonstrate that the man he is today is not the same man he once was. If Sheila believes Taylor is discarding Deacon because of his background, she may choose to protect him. That would be ironic, given Sheila's own notoriety. Taylor might even point this out. She could tell Sheila that she shouldn't be teaching anyone about redemption. Sheila has perpetrated more than enough damaging things to understand why people are reluctant to trust her. If Sheila tries to portray herself as an authority on second chances, Taylor may reject her reasoning. However, Sheila had the ability to turn the criticism around. She may admit that she has committed dreadful acts. Instead of suppressing her background, Sheila may use it to support her case. She understands what it is like to be judged forever for past errors. She understands what it means for people to just perceive the negative aspects of her. That might make her defense of Deacon unexpectedly compelling. Sheila may argue that if people sincerely believe in redemption, they cannot select who receives it based purely on personal preferences. Taylor might have difficulties addressing that. The conversation may also get linked to Ridge. Ridge and Taylor's relationship has always been hampered by their past interactions with other individuals. They've repeatedly returned to each other, only to be separated again due to circumstances, misunderstandings, or rival romantic interests. Taylor adored Ridge, but it doesn't mean every move involving him was great. Sheila might particularly remind out that Taylor previously rejected Deacon in favor of Ridge. That phrase may reignite an old wound. Taylor may recall that Deacon wanted something from her that she couldn't offer him. Perhaps she thought her heart belonged elsewhere. Perhaps she understood that choosing Deacon would lead to even more troubles. Whatever the reason, Taylor made her choice. Sheila may inquire whether Taylor believes Deacon deserves to be rejected. Taylor could argue that no one is entitled to another person's affection. And she would be correct. However, Sheila may not be saying that Taylor owed Deacon a relationship. Instead, she may be challenging Taylor's right to blame Deacon for seeking love and happiness after everything he has been through. This discrepancy could complicate the confrontation significantly. Taylor may say that she never evaluated Deacon primarily based on his background. She might explain that she made her decision based on her own emotions and circumstances. She may remind Sheila that love cannot be forced. Sheila could agree while also emphasizing Deacon's right to change. That could be the true message of the confrontation. Deacon does not require Taylor's approval to move forward in his life. He does not want everyone to forget his past. He needs an opportunity to demonstrate that he is capable of becoming a better person. This is where Sheila's involvement gets risky. Sheila may truly believe Deacon deserves a second shot, but her intentions are unlikely to be entirely selfless. If she is using Deacon's circumstances to manipulate Taylor, her apparent defense could be part of a much wider scheme. Taylor may begin to suspect just that. She may caution Sheila not to interfere in other people's relationships. Taylor knows Sheila well enough to see that every conversation with her contains a hidden objective. Sheila rarely joins a confrontation without a clear goal. The more Sheila talks, the more Taylor realizes this is about more than just Deacon. Sheila may be trying to get Taylor to confess something about her feelings for Ridge, Deacon, or someone else. If Taylor becomes emotional, Sheila may use that reaction later. That option may make Taylor even more defensive. Still, Sheila's words may linger in Taylor's memory long after the conversation has ended. Taylor may begin to wonder if she has been unfair to Deacon. She may not develop love feelings for him right away, but she may alter her perspective on his past. She may also realize that mistakes do not define people permanently. This could result in an unexpected shift in Taylor's mindset. Rather than continuing to debate, Taylor could simply inform Sheila that she sees the point but does not trust the person expressing it. That would be a typical Taylor response. She can admit a difficult fact while resisting Sheila's influence. At the same time, Sheila may believe she has accomplished what she set out to do. The main question is what comes next. If Taylor begins to have a new perspective on Deacon, multiple relationships may become complicated. Deacon may not even be aware that Sheila is protecting him. If he learns what she said, he may have mixed sentiments. On the one hand, he might appreciate someone advocating for him. On the other hand, he is well aware of Sheila's history and understands that accepting her help may come at a cost. Deacon may also grow frustrated if he discovers that his romantic history is being rehashed without his participation. He's spent a long time attempting to manage his own story. Having Sheila use his history as ammunition against Taylor could enrage him. Meanwhile, Rich could learn about the confrontation. This might provide another level of tension. Rich knows Taylor better than most others, and he understands their difficult relationship. If he discovers that Sheila exploited his marriage to Taylor as a weapon, he may be outraged. Rich may also question why Sheila is so interested in Taylor and Deacon. If Rich gets involved, the situation could soon escalate. Taylor may argue that Sheila was only attempting to provoke her. Rich might agree, but he may still be curious about what Taylor said during the confrontation. If Taylor reveals that Sheila's statements made her reflect on the past, Rich may grow anxious. The emotional stakes could rise even higher if Taylor begins to doubt whether her relationship decisions are influenced by old patterns rather than real sentiments. That does not necessarily imply that she will abandon Ridge or turn to Deacon. Soap operas rarely make such straightforward emotional conclusions. Instead, the debate could sow seeds of skepticism. And once sown, the seed can be tough to ignore. For Sheila, that may be the ultimate victory. She does not necessarily require Taylor to fall in love with Deacon. She only needs Taylor to be uncertain. A little uncertainty might cause conflict among people who were previously secure. Wednesday's program could thus center on emotional manipulation, ancient romantic history, and the question of whether people actually deserve second chances. Sheila may be the one delivering the message, but Taylor may be compelled to acknowledge its significance. Taylor has long believed that love is about picking the person who holds your heart. Sheila may confront her by pointing out that love also involves realizing that people change. Deacon's change could be the root cause of everything. If he has truly changed, his past should not be held against him indefinitely. But if Sheila is protecting him for personal reasons, Taylor has every reason to be cautious. The conflict between these two alternatives will make this confrontation very intriguing. Taylor may eventually leave Sheila with a more solid understanding of her beliefs. She may refuse to let Sheila alter her history or make her feel bad for choosing Ridge. At the same time, she may calmly accept that Deacon should be judged on who he is today rather than who he was years ago. That might be a significant turning point. Meanwhile, Sheila will most likely continue to push people's emotional buttons. Her capacity to detect flaws is one of the reasons she stays so dangerous. She knows just which memories to evoke and which words will cause the most emotional distress. By bringing up Taylor's decision to marry Ridge and reject Deacon, Sheila may be reopening a chapter that everyone thought was finished. However, in the world of the bold and the beautiful, the past is rarely completely gone. Old romances can reappear. Old resentments may reappear. Former mistakes might suddenly become weapons. People who thought they have moved on may find that one chat is enough to bring everything back. Taylor believes Sheila's confrontation could be more than just an argument. It could become a time for reflection. She may not agree with Sheila. She may never trust Sheila. And she may not enjoy being judged by someone with Sheila's background. But she may still have to confess that Sheila mentioned something crucial. People change. Deacon has changed. Taylor has changed. Ridge has changed. Even Sheila says she has changed. The question is anyone willing to believe it? That uncertainty could last long after Wednesday's show concludes. Fans may be wondering if Sheila's words will impact Taylor's decisions, if Deacon will find out what has been said about him, and if Ridge would become involved once he discovers that his history with Taylor has become the source of another emotional conflict. One thing is certain, Sheila is unlikely to change the subject lightly. Sheila rarely ignores emotional weaknesses. If she believes Taylor's history with Ridge and Deacon can be used to incite confrontation, she may keep pushing until someone snaps. Taylor may soon realize that protecting her past isn't as simple as she thought. As a result, Wednesday's bold and the beautiful drama may cause numerous characters to reassess their decisions, loyalties, and their beliefs. Sheila may believe she is exposing hypocrisy, but Taylor may see nothing but manipulation. Deacon may become trapped in the center without recognizing it. As emotions build, the past may once again collide with the present. And when that happens in Los Angeles, no relationship is ever totally secure. The mellow afternoon light streamed through Illinois Giardino's wide windows, casting long shadows on the quiet corner table where Sheila Carter sat across from Deacon Sharp. The restaurant hummed with the typical lunchtime murmur of talk and clinking glasses, but for the two of them, the outside world had faded into background noise. Sheila's fingers caressed the rim of her water glass, her countenance controlled, while a glimmer of something sharper lurked beneath her gaze. She'd waited for this moment. The previous day, Deacon had given the news that still resonated in her mind. Taylor Hayes had declined his marriage proposal. Sheila leaned forward slightly, her voice soft and almost conversational. "Let me make sure I understand this completely. You went down on one knee, you gave her everything, and she said no." Deacon exhaled and ran his hand through his hair. He appeared exhausted, as if he had worked more than one long shift at the restaurant. "She said she loved me. She stated she wanted to be with me. She just doesn't believe we need the paper. The ceremony." Sheila smiled faintly, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, how convenient. For her." "Sheila, no, hear me out." She raised her hand, the action almost kind. "I'm not attempting to twist the knife. I am only pointing out what any normal individual would observe. Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester have walked down the aisle together more times than most people change their oil." She had no trouble saying yes to him. Not once. Not twice. Several times. She stood there in white, gazing him in the eyes and promised eternity. And yet, when you ask a man who has put her first, ended a marriage for her, and has been nothing but consistent, marriage becomes unneeded. Now it's ridiculous at our age. Deacon's jaw hardened. He glanced at the table for a long time before responding. "You have no idea what it was like for her with Ridge. The connection was complex. Toxic about half of the time. Perhaps marrying him removed her desire for the institution. Maybe she thought it wasn't worth the danger anymore." Sheila laughed softly, almost incredulous. "Oh, Deacon, you can't honestly believe that. Taylor did not refuse marriage. She refused to marry you." "There's a difference." The words hit her harder than she expected. She studied his face intently, looking for the crack she knew had to exist. Deacon had always felt proud. He had rebuilt his life from the ground up after years of mistakes, and the thought that the woman he loved could not regard him as entirely worthy of the ultimate commitment had to hurt.